Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are in this wonderful world. It's September, Thursday, the 23rd. It's like, where did September go? Have you been busy? Have you been enjoying the fall? What is going on? Are you enjoying today? What is your thought about how your day is going to be? What questions are you asking yourself? Are you taking care of yourself? You're taking care of clients and yourself and family. Today is going to be all about the three main problems of human beings according to the analogical disciplines. We have been talking about happiness. What's the definition of happiness? One Thursday evening, we have been talking about analogical types, the sword, the crown, and the shield. Tonight, it's going to be about figuring out how to ask really great questions to people to figure out what is their main problem while they are pursuing their dreams to be happy. Let's dig right in. If you are following on Facebook, feel free to ask questions. If you're watching the replay, please feel free to ask any questions in private or in the chat on Facebook or even YouTube or on Twitch, wherever. These are all must knows or great to know at least. Ask the question, and when you speak, smile, use the types and the centers, use the signs of joy and rejection. All that has to do with body language. Mention at least 2 of the 5 Masonic points. If you remember those, they are family, friends, relationships, partners, health, and career and health. Use the VAC principle. And the last one that we're going to talk about today, use your knowledge about the 3 problems of human beings. Listen when you ask the question, be there with your client, look them in the eyes, observe, ask a question, then listen. Ask a follow-up question, observe the same things, because we always want to have confirmation or whatever we think was a non-verbal response. Sum it up, you figure out their behavioral type, anagram type, back principles, 4 centers, and problem. And then you make your sales offer accordingly for whatever it is that you are selling or what your service is. Tonight, about problems. Use your knowledge about the 3 problems of human beings. And tonight, if somebody's going to join me, we're going to have some fun observing how our bodies tend to sway towards something for a yes and away for a no. Definition of happiness for you, just think about it for a second. What would your definition of happiness be? What does it take for me to feel happy? What certain things have to be true, have to have happened for me to feel happy today, this hour, this minute, tomorrow? Definition of happiness. Some people define it as knowing when you have enough or wanting what you have, which is not always easy. In the analogical disciplines, happiness is to pursue one's dreams freely and in peace with one's conscience, according to Stefano Benemeglio. And to attract the clients that you would love to work with, it is very useful to know what is holding them back, what main problem, what main difficulty they have in their life, so you can offer your service trying to bridge the gap between who they want to be and who they are. So you can connect the octave, you can be the, as we call it, the reconciling force. We have the affirming, the denying, and the reconciling force, and that's what we would like to be. The three main problems of human beings. Problem number one, and it is seen in the connection with being able to pursue your goals, being able to pursue whatever happiness means for you. First problem, freedom. The myth that describes this problem is Romeo and Juliet. Romeo and Juliet, sorry, the Italian version is more present in my brain. And the area of that problem is the heart. What does that mean? It means that if you touch this part of your body where your heart is, your body will move forward. If you have that, if that is your key obstacle, your key problem in pursuing your dreams. And the myth is Romeo and Juliet, because they loved each other very much, but they were not free to pursue their happiness. They were not free to develop, to grow the love that was between them. And of course, we all know that it ended very tragically. That means that clients that have this problem, they do not feel free to pursue their dreams, free to be happy because of someone or something that is holding them back. Let's translate that into a couple of examples and just think about if this resonates for you. Is this true for me? Do I know someone that talks like this, or someone that this could be true for? Freedom. While pursuing your dreams and while you try to obtain those goals or be that person that you want to be or have those things that you want, you're okay. What does it mean? What does that mean? It means you have the skills or talent to pursue your dreams, but someone or something is keeping you from pursuing them or does not want you to pursue them. Maybe they want you to pursue a different dream or in a different way or with a different person. Or one example, let's say I want to become a lawyer, or your client would have wanted to become a lawyer, but everyone in their family is a musician. So we do not become lawyers in our family. We are a family of musicians. And that way you feel obliged to how can you say, to stay in the family tradition. And it can be anything. And it doesn't have to be that someone literally tells you this. It's just something that you can from kind of know to someone telling you this is not what we do in our family. And you choose a different college, you choose a different university degree because of this, that someone was not happy about you doing that. Or you might want it to become a doctor or a nurse. But that's not what someone else think you should do. And it can be of any reason. It could be the reason you don't make enough money, it's too hard of a job, or why do you want to have the same job that I did? It's too hard for you. So you're not free to pursue whatever goal, whatever dream you wish to pursue. Maybe you want to become a dancer or an artist, but someone tells you that that is not even a job, that that's something you do as a hobby or just for fun, so you give up on it. Or you want to become a baker, but someone tells you, it's hard working hours, you shouldn't do that, that's not worth it. You can't have a family because you're going to work all night and you're going to be sleeping when everybody else is awake, and so on. So you have a desire to pursue a dream, but someone or something tells you. It could also be that it's too dangerous. It could be that you want to play the piano, but you're not free or you have to work. Maybe you live in an area where where it's not well seen to get an education. You're supposed to work to make money, or maybe you live really far away and it's not possible. Or you have a family business and everybody knows that you're supposed to keep on the family tradition, to stay in the family business. Or as it can happen, and to me it's incredible, but it still happens even today, even in my world, that you love someone and someone from your family does not agree on your choice. And it makes it kind of hard to follow your dreams if someone does not agree with it. And of course, it depends on how much you care for this person. The more you care for this person that tells you that your choice is wrong or that you should do something else, the more you're going to tend to listen to them. So if these people are your parents or someone that you really care for, can be a brother or sister, but it can also be friends that tell you, you know, I might love this person, and all your friends tell you like, oh no, you shouldn't do that. That's, you know, that's a dead end. So do not stick with that person because she's not good for you, he's not good for you, they're not good for you. How does that translate into asking great questions? When you ask questions to a potential client, you would want to figure this out. What does it mean? It translates into inserting in your verbal communication words like freedom, traveling, prison, birds, because we always tend to connect birds with being free and having the liberty to do whatever you wish. Route 66, highway, flower power, flexibility, limitless, game, Las Vegas, all those words that give you a sense of independence and no strings. And if they move forward on that or show the signs of satisfaction that you should know by now, if not, if you haven't seen it, go back and watch the replay. That might be their problem. And if you talk about that, if you talk about yourself, maybe you're gonna tell them that, well, you wanted to become a tidying professional ever since you were young, but it wasn't something that you were supposed to do, or it wasn't something that you actually could do when you were younger. And they might resonate. They feel that that resonates with them, and they're going to talk about themselves. Nonverbal communication, you touch your heart area like this. If you think they're attracted to the shield, and like this, if you think they're attracted to the sword. And it's a little difficult to do the circle, but you can do something like that if the person is attracted to the circle. And now, if you want, when you're home, you can try it. Right? And if you're watching on Facebook, feel free to come on Zoom. The link is in the group, in the conscious communication group. What you do is simply that you stand up and you connect to your body. Just for a minute, you stand up and you can close your eyes and just relax your shoulders and relax your legs. And then you simply pat yourself on the chest area like this. And you feel if you move forwards or backwards. This is mine, so I do move forward on this. Whereas if you move backwards, that is not you. Well, let's repeat it. Chest area, and if you touch it, your body goes forward, and that is your problem in pursuing your dreams. And I know that it's kind of hard to digest that a little detail. Let's say that you wanted to go to a certain college in your parents, your family, your friends, because maybe your friends went to a different college and it was too hard to go to another college. Just like tiny thing like that means that you were not totally free to choose what you wanted to do. And let's think about it for a second, that it goes for me too. If I could choose, if you could choose where to live, where would it be? Anywhere. If you could like literally choose where would I want to live, where would my ideal spot is, and if it is where you're living, that's totally amazing, awesome. Share it with me if you want. Or if you could choose your job, what would you be doing? Anything. If you could choose your faith, what would it be? And would you have the freedom to make these choices? What would your family say? What would your kids say if you have kids? What would your partner say? What would your work colleagues say? And sometimes humans, we tend to think that we have more freedom than we actually have. Because even just for whatever we believe in, where we live and where we grow up has a huge, huge influence. I had confirmation. I grew up in a Christian country, and I never I never even thought about believing something different. And so it does really affect you a lot. And it's not always allowed to ask questions. And doesn't mean you want to change, just to think about that, that sometimes we are more a product of where we grew up and who surrounded us when we did grow up than we might think. And as we said last Thursday, our job is to see the world as our client sees it before we can help them see a new world. And that goes for whatever service you're selling or you're offering. So how can you apply this to win your clients' trust that you can help them? Hold on, I'm just going to correct that. Let's look over the steps from last time. Let's take professional tidying as an example. You ask an open question about your product. Have you given any thought to why tidying is the new therapy? If I want to insert some kind of freedom concept in there, what could I ask? I could ask, have you thought about the fact that having less is having like even more, when less is more, because it gives you so much freedom to live in your apartment, in your home. It gives you space, it gives you energy to go, you can go if you want to go travel, you know exactly where your stuff is, you just put it in your suitcase and you take it and you just go wherever you wish to go. And see, it's the nonverbal response is immediate. So I have I um I lick my lips as a sign of satisfaction. This is something that I would be attracted to travel, to live freely, be able to do whatever you wish to do. Whomever has had kids that we deeply love, we know that that's a huge restriction of our freedom. And maybe we're not always as passionate about it as we should be. And maybe we don't always take as much time as we should to feel a little more free, to get out on that date night. And if that is the case for a client, that's where you can have rapport and start to figure out who they really are. So you can offer them your service, bridging the gap between who they are, who they wish to be, and who they think they are. Remember that there's 4 of them, like who they tell you they are, who they really are, who they want to be, and how other people see your client. And these four, we would like them to be as connected and as much alike as possible. Second step, tell people why your product is amazing, why your service is amazing. Can I tell you, can I show you? Life's a game, right? Would you let me show you the results of a perfectly played tidying game? And these, of course, are the VAC principles. And if we were supposed to put something in with the freedom problem, what could we talk about? Think about it for a second. So freedom, if you have that problem, someone or something is holding you back or held you back, held your client back. So a question could be, wouldn't it just be nice? Isn't it amazing? This is a method that lets you choose. So the main philosophy of the method is that it has to spark joy for you. So you're completely free to choose whatever you want to keep and what you do not want to keep. And there it is again. And I'm not doing this just to show you, it really is like that. So insert those freedom concepts and how your service can set them free and how it can contribute to them pursuing their dreams in whatever way they wish to. These were some of the examples that we can offer our clients. My clients save 4 years of their life by never having to look for stuff. The art of decluttering is cathartic and uncovers what the client's ideal lifestyle is, how they really want to live. Maybe you're talking to a client that feels they have to have certain things in their home, show off certain things, or live in a certain way because of family, because of friends, because of colleagues. And you can insert that concept of them being really free to choose whatever makes them happy. And then you ask, what would be your number one priority? And if freedom, being free, and being able to choose what sparks joy from them without having anyone interfere, they will let you know. And then you follow that road to have your client sign. When you ask your follow-up question, you insert the concept again. Why did you pick that one? What sounds true in that for you? And they might talk about their partner or their kids. You know, maybe they don't have enough room, or maybe they have. I actually had a client, and she stays in the lounge to give both her kids their own room. So she's not free to have her own room because of them, or she chose to. But the concept is that someone, and even if you do it out of love for your kids, let's say I really want my kids to have their own room and it doesn't matter for me that I have to live in the lounge, it's still a restriction of your freedom on a subconscious level, even though you don't think about it a lot. And this is their wake-up call. This is how you connect to your client and be like, what is holding you back? Why do you, because we tend to, whatever happened to us in our childhood, we tend to repeat that pattern of lack of freedom. That's what we tend to repeat. It's like a software program that gets installed and it's really difficult not to run it. So if this resonates with you, think about it and maybe just ask a couple of questions. What can I do to provide me, my being, with more freedom? Even tiny little things that I can decide. If your client is in this situation, what are some of the tiny elements? What can I change? Just small changes sometimes can make a huge difference. That was the problem of freedom. Problem of broken dreams. Just gonna be sure there are no questions in the Facebook group. Let me know if you have any questions. You can write them in the chat. Broken dreams. The myth is Dante and Beatrice, and the area of your body where you will move forward or your client will move forward is the pelvis. Why do we use this myth? Because Dante, he was very much in love with Beatrice, but he was not able to make her love him, which is one of the most painful situations that a human being can live through. Really loving someone, really caring for someone, and there's just no way to open that door because you cannot. Some say we don't choose who we love. I don't know about that, but it's at least difficult to force someone to love you. But if you know the nonverbal language and the types and the analogical types and the Enneagram, there's a chance. There's a chance. Broken dreams. This is the opposite of really different from freedom because no one is holding you back while you're pursuing your dreams, trying to be happy. You yourself are not sure if you have sufficient talent and have what it takes to pursue and eventually reach your dream. Let's say something very, it can be anything from something very simple. Hold on, I'm gonna just correct this slide. Lina, when you see this, I am sorry. Let's say you're 2 meters and you want to be a Formula One driver and you can't fit in the car. Nobody's telling you that you can't do it or that you shouldn't become a driver, but you just can't fit in the car. So that's a no-go. There goes your dream, whatever you wanted to pursue, you don't fit in the car. Let's say so there's something, nobody's telling you not to do it. There's something wrong with you or you're not fit for the job. Let's say you want to be a vet, but you're allergic to pets, that's a no-go. Let's say your family really encourages you or your friends to become a musician, you have the right equipment, you have a beautiful piano, and you're just not talented enough. No matter how hard you practice, no matter how long your practice hours are, you just do not make it into conservatory or even getting in a band. It's not working out. Same thing if you want to be a singer and you don't have the voice, you don't have the actual talent to do it. A couple of other examples. You want to become a lawyer, but you cannot make it into law school because you can't make the admission test. Same thing if you want to become a doctor, you have to study and it doesn't happen. You want to become, I'm sorry, we had hot dogs the other night. You want to become a cook, but it's just not there. You're not good at cooking and you're not good with all the little technicalities of cooking. Or you want to become a fireman or firewoman, if you so can say, and you're not physically strong enough. I had a client and she wanted to become a police officer, and she did all the tests, she did all the courses and everything, and she was just not strong enough to ride the motorbike that she had to ride. So broken dream, really hard to pursue your dream if you're just not good enough. That's good enough is not the right word. If you do not have the talent or the skills or it could even also be courage. You can't make it. And when you ask questions to a potential client, you can include dream, imagine, imagination, fantasy, broken dream, of course, illusion, failure, unable, nightmare. If this was on nightmare, if you remember what it is, like this is something, if let's say you were talking to me and you want to offer me some kind of service and I have a nightmare and I do this, it's like it's a perfect key to talk to me and to figure out more about me, if you know this. Touching pelvis area with the right type and hand, of course. So touching down here or hitting it if you think that your client is attracted to the sword. Thighs. So if you touch them, your body will move forward if you have this problem. And so if you move forward, this is your problem. It's not as with the analogical type that you move backwards on what you are. You move forwards in this case. So please stand up and try it. So you can stand up and you just move. And you can see that I am actually moving back because I have the freedom problem. If we're talking about tidying clients, it would be possible that when they talk to you about their situation in their home, they would say something like, I'm not tidy, I'm just no good at tidying. No matter what I do, I can't get it done. Everybody tells me that I should do this and I should do that, but I just don't get it done. So they blame themselves because that's what happens subconsciously. When you didn't have that talent, you didn't have that skill, you will always have the fear that you're not enough. Whereas if your client has the freedom problem, they might tell you that they do not agree with their partner, with their kids on how the home should be organized, what it should look like, or they might not even agree on where they're actually living. They would want to move, but someone else that is very close to them, they do not want to move. So it's actually a given. And if you have that person in front of you and you use these hand movements, they will be more open to talk to you. So it's a great tool and it's very effective in the sales process with the client. Let's say if you could choose where to live, where would it be? Anywhere. If you could choose your job, would you be doing anything? And would you have the skills to achieve this? In the dream problem, it could even be that someone else encourages you to pursue your dreams, but it's you that's saying, oh, don't even get me started because it's not going to happen. I tried it 2 times. Maybe I have someone that really believes in my talent as a whatever, and they tell me, come on, you can do it. Believe in yourself. And I'm like, no, you know what? No. Or you try again and it doesn't happen because we always tend to repeat these patterns. Last one. And this is when it gets to the problem of conscience, it gets a little more serious. The other two are, let's call them, I can't remember who said that, but it's like, I think it's Tony Robbins actually. What do you call a man, a woman, or they? What do you call someone with no problems? Like, oh, dead, right? Because problems, we're supposed to have problems. We're supposed to have the courage, the energy to solve them. So the two first problems, freedom and dream, it's normal. It's something everybody has because we wanna achieve that dream. We want to pursue it and achieve the dream. But everybody also knows that then when we get there and the dream is conquered, if we make it, it's like, okay, now I'm here. Now I'm gonna do something different. So as they say, it's how we get there and enjoy the journey and all those things. Conflict of conscience. The myth is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde that you all probably know. And the area where we move forward is the front here. And this is when people can get into serious problems. If we talk about tidying, this could be people that accumulate too much stuff and they know that is not good for them, or someone that is a compulsive buyer and they know, of course, that it's not good for them, but they're not able to stop it. And how does it work? Conflict of conscious, problem of conscious. We call it X freedom problem or X dream problem. And why is that? I'm going to read this because it's a little complicated. It's called, this is a concept that Stefano Benemeglio has developed, and it's called the emulation of the parenting myth. We are instinctively led to fear that the same defects and behavioral vices found in the parent of the same sex are present in us. At the same time, we tend to fear and believe that significant people of the opposite sex may have the same behavioral defects or vices attributed to the parent of the opposite sex. And the feeling is a little bit like this. Let's make a relationship example because they're always very significant. And most people tried this. Let's say I have the dream problem and I did not manage to have the person that I fell in love with love me. A part of me does not want to think about this person. And the other part of me keeps on thinking about him or her, they. And it's like it gets out of control. I can't control it. So taking it really far, I move. I move away from the city where this person lives to avoid them. But the problem is that the person stays in my mind and I keep thinking about them even though I don't want to. And it gets out of control, and we all know that it can end very badly if it goes too far. When you ask a potential client questions, you can include words like problems, worries, grief, sense of guilt, hard times, preoccupation, frustration, heavyweight strain, and touching of the forehead. Of course, with the right, this is the shield, and this is the sword. You can touch it like this. And these are the people that might need more help than a tidying expert can offer them. And this goes for every service. And they need to work a little on this thing to become happy, to be able to go back and pursue their dreams and be happy. So this is the area, and you can stand up and try. There's no worries if it does happen. It did happen to me a couple of years ago, and coaching sessions are amazing and can help us, because life is hard. Sometimes we go through stuff. So you close your eyes, you stand up, you relax your shoulders, relax the body, and just connect to your body. Feel your arms, feel your legs, and maybe take a breath and be like, oh wow, I have feet, I have fingers. You're able to feel all your fingers, pinky, ring finger, middle finger, thumb. Just feel them, and then you touch yourself like this. And in my case, I move backwards. And to explain this better, um, Let's say you wanted to pursue a career as a professional athlete or runner or um, actress, whatever it is that you wanted to pursue. In this case, it's someone that does sports, and everybody told you that it's too hard, that it's too risky, that you won't make any money. Your family does not agree with your choice, or your partner, or friends that you really trust, but you don't care. You move on and you pursue your dream and you think you're going to be happy. And then what happens is that you get a really bad injury and your life is kind of messed up because of this injury. What happens is that you start to think that you should have listened to your parents or to your friends or to your spouse, that they were right. And if this happens enough times, let's say I get back on the horse and I try to pursue another dream, and people tell me, oh, okay, so now you just had an injury. Now you're gonna go be a fireman or something that is with the body, because maybe you're moving centered and that's what you love to do. And people are like, are you crazy? Just get a real job, just get a decent job, pension, and this and that. And you go, no, because I want to do this. This is all, yeah, well, okay. The ones that know just have fun watching me do this and figure out what word it was on. And we'll talk about it next time. You go on and you pursue a new dream, and same thing happens. It ends up badly. You start to think that they were right and that you're wrong. And that must not happen. It must not happen, because you cannot be the problem and the solution. You always have to be the solution. And when that happens, we start to think more than we act. And we should always act, do more than we reflect about things. Because when you think and think and think and think, and it becomes too much thinking, nothing good is going to come out of that. Because I start believing that whatever they told me was true, and I begin to be the problem. I hope that makes sense. Let's say, I'll do this one. Let's go back a second to the definition. Happiness is pursuing one's dreams in complete freedom and at peace with one's conscience. And let's take this example. Let's say that my dream is to become someone very successful and have lots of money. But my values, so my conscience is very connected to family values. I appreciate family. I want to have kids. I want to spend time with them. So what happens is that I have a great career and I have a great job, but somewhere along the line, I did not have enough time for my family. So I am successful. I managed to pursue that dream, but my conscience is in conflict because I didn't have enough time for my family. And when my son is 18, he comes to me and he says, you know what? You were never there. And you want to spend time with him or her or them. And they're like, well, you were never there when I was young. And now I want to spend time with my friends. So what you did was not in peace with your conscience, and there the happiness goes out the window. Even though you were a success in so many areas of your life, there's still something, because it has to be in peace with your conscience. I hope that makes sense. And the goal, of course, is to be happy no less than 50% of the time. And it takes effort. It takes effort to figure out, what is it that I really want? Who do I want to be? And what do I want? What dream am I pursuing? And what is keeping me from pursuing my dream? Is it me, or is it someone else? Am I not talented enough? Can I change that? Is there something that I can do to become more talented? And that's as service providers, this is part of our what we help people figure out through tidying or me being a vocal coach or doing coaching sessions is bridging that gap. The dream is here. I want to pursue it. Am I lacking freedom to pursue my dream? Or is it something that I have to do better? Is someone holding me back? Or am I holding myself back? And if you do move forward on this, just reach out or talk to someone because we don't want to be the problem. The problem should always be outside of us because that way we can solve it and there's a solution because I cannot be the problem and the solution at the same time. So more action and less thinking. And for that, I'm going to sign off for now. I hope this made sense. If it didn't, please send me your questions. If you want to know more, join next. If you want to give me the video a like or join the group or share this video with someone that you think could benefit from it, that would make me really happy. Bye bye.